especially Statham. He's
What
very
about
insecure.
Statham?
He's very insecure.
He is? How so?
Oh, a lot of stories with a lot of people. The first movie I did with Dolph, the mechanic, and when he was doing his wardrobe fitting, he said, "Oh, what's my best angle?" And I said, "Oh, looking up," because the guy's 6'2".
Sure. You always got to shoot him that way.
Firstly, I think the first thing you better get a follow is a ladder.
You know?
So what? I'm carrying a ladder around with me. Look up.
Yeah. How many films have you worked on with Dolph? Just the one or more?
Uh, well, that one actually is. I think it got one of the best ratings for him directing. Um, and otherwise, I've just seen him on some other films. Last year, he was in some scenes in a film I did with Isaac in America. He just came in for a couple of days.
You know, that's one thing about Dolph. I don't think a lot of people know he does direct a lot of his films. Like, what do you think about him as a director?
Nice, really nice guy. He's extremely down to earth. He talks, clearly and what he wants and everything. And, he's open for suggestions and stuff. And
Okay. That's
he's very amicable.
nice. Nice. What do you think about actors directing themselves? Because obviously Stallone will do that in a lot of his films. Dolph does that. You think that is ultimately good or bad, being the director of yourself as an actor?
It's in one way, I think it's difficult for. I mean, they really have to trust who's shooting it so that they know. They look at the monitor. Okay, it's good. Let's move on. You might give them just a note saying, "Oh, you look this way, maybe a touch too long or whatever." He's just open for a little bit of feedback. Then he'll sit down, think about it, and say, "No, no, don't worry about it. I'll cut around it or whatever." Um, not a big issue, really.
Another guy that
I mean, they
directs
they know
himself.
the action stuff backwards, so it's more the drama side they're more concerned about,
Sure, sure. Another guy that directs
especially Jason
himself.
Statham.
Hmm?
Especially Statham. He's
What
very
about
insecure.
Statham?
He's very insecure.
He is? How so?
For drama and stuff, I worked on Mechanic 2 with him in Thailand, and there was like two separate units. There was the Jessica unit. He actually hired this German director, which he at the end of the day he refused to work with. And then there was his unit, and he would want to watch all the cameras replay so much as walking through the door 5 times. And it's like, dude, you're walking through a door. Totally blew the schedule out of the water, which ended up, a lot of problems. But he was, I mean, he's all go, go, go action and stuff. But when it comes to drama and stuff, he's more insecure.
Interesting. And he's generally a pretty good actor. At least he comes across as a good actor on film. So does he have that reputation where like maybe his productions take longer than they should because he wants to, keep shooting, 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 and watching, watching, watching?
He's Cockney, so he has a bit of a bad mouth. So you've got to be used to that
No fucking way.
and not pay any attention to it whatsoever. A bit like me in Germany. Every second word comes out la la la. But when you've got American producers, they go, "What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Why is he upset?" It's like he's not upset. That's how he talks. He's Cockney.
That's
He
funny.
used to sell stolen watches on the side of the street. That's him.
Yeah, he's got an interesting history. Another actor I was going to mention that directs himself, Michael Jai White. You work with Michael Jai White quite a bit. What do
Yeah.
you think about him?
Again, extremely nice guy. He was more down to earth when we did, what was it? Not Fight Back, but
Undisputed 2?
no, number 3, his movie in Thailand.
Oh, Never Back Down 3.
Never Back Down 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
With Nathan Jones. He directed that. Extremely nice. In Undisputed, I think he was probably a bit more on a pedestal at that point, because he had a little bit of an entourage following him around, and a bit more, not difficult, but he did some great work. Undisputed is still my favorite movie. Just every single thing worked in favor of it. The weather, the snow, the bad conditions, everything. It looked great.
Yeah, I heard, I think it was the third one. It could have been the second one. When they were shooting the fight scene against Scott Adkins and Silvio Simak, I heard it was like freezing, like on set. Did you guys not have a heater? Silvio told me it was like freezing when you guys were shooting those fight scenes.
We went to a real prison, which had real snow. When he's tied up to a pole outside the prison, it's minus 15
Wow.
at least.
Brutal shoot.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're standing shooting, you don't get to do a lot of exercise, so you're just standing there freezing.
Mm.
Yeah, it was pretty cold, and in the studio, which at that point the studio was an indoor swimming complex, they just had to bring around portable heaters to try and warm up. But otherwise, yeah, it was pretty cold. When Scott fought Silvio, I don't think it was that cold then.
Mm.
It certainly wasn't in the middle of the snow, which came later.
Okay.